I can't tell you how proud I am to be asked to speak to you all today. If I had known when I was attending Trinity College that I could get an advanced degree without doing any work, it would have changed my behavior as an undergraduate considerably. The only drawback about getting an honorary degree from your own alma mater, of course, is that you can't tell the most famous commencement joke, which I'm sure you've all heard this. John F. Kennedy, who went to Harvard, received an honorary degree from Yale University, and he got up, and the first words out of his mouth were, "Now I have the best of both worlds, a Yale degree and a Harvard education." The best I can say is that I have a University of Toronto education and a free University of Toronto degree. All of you should be so lucky. I was told I had 8 to 10 minutes to share with you words that you would cherish for the rest of your life, which is a tall order. One would think that words you would cherish for the rest of your life should take at least 15 minutes. But I'm so excited about this whole free degree business that I'm actually going to comply with the request on this instance. And so I thought I'd tell you a short story from the Second World War. And it involves a very famous device called the Norden bomb sight, which was developed by an engineer named Carl Norden. And Carl Norden was concerned with a very specific and crucial problem, which was how to drop a bomb accurately from a plane. If you think about it, that was, in the days before GPS and radar, an incredibly difficult thing to do. It was a complex physics problem, right? You had a plane that was tens of thousands of feet in the air, traveling at hundreds of miles an hour, that was trying to hit a stationary object on the ground, despite high winds and all kinds of ground cover. But Norden is a kind of genius, and he comes up with this big, complex gadget called the bomb sight. It has all kinds of knobs and levers and gyroscopes. And what you did is if you were the pilot or the bombardier, I guess they call them, you would enter into the device the speed of the plane, your altitude of the plane, the coordinates of the target, and then the speed of the wind. And then the Norden bomb sight would tell you when to drop the bomb, right? Before the bomb sight came along, planes would typically miss their targets by as much as miles. But as Norden famously said, equipped with the Norden bomb sight, a pilot could now put a bomb inside a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet. Now, I can't tell you how extraordinarily exciting the news of the Norden bomb sight was to military planners in the years leading up to the Second World War. The U.S. Army spent $1.5 billion developing the Norden bomb sight. And to put that in perspective, the total amount spent in developing an atomic bomb in the years before the Second World War was $3 billion. They spent half as much on this device as they spent on the Manhattan Project. And there were people in the military who genuinely thought, at the end of the 1930s, that this device was going to spell the difference between victory and defeat, that this was the thing that would turn the tide against the Nazis. Think about it. You could, from the safety of the skies, hit anything you wanted on the ground. You could put a bomb in a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet. So the British and the Canadian and the American Air Forces bought dozens of these things. They cost $75,000 each in 1940 money, which is a lot of money. And they were kept in these special locked cases with canvas shrouds over them. And they would be escorted to the bombers across the tarmac by armed guards who had the device handcuffed to their wrist. And they were never allowed to be photographed, ever. And every pilot had to take an oath saying that if they were captured, they wouldn't reveal the slightest details about how the bomb sight worked. And each bomb sight actually came with like in a James Bond movie, they came with a little thing that caused it to self-destruct if the plane crashed. So there was no way that the Germans could get their hands on it. The Norden bomb sight was the Holy Grail. Right? It really was this thing that everyone thought was going to spell the difference between defeat and victory. So what happened? Well, it wasn't the Holy Grail. In practice, the bomb sight helped you put a bomb in a pickle barrel at 20,000 feet, but in the reality of war, it was next to useless. The bomb sights were incredibly complicated. The pilots didn't know how to use them. They would break. Turns out that very often pilots had to fly at an altitude much higher than the bomb sight was equipped to deal with. Sometimes the winds were much more powerful than the bomb sight ever could anticipate. And on all that effort to keep the bomb sight a secret, it didn't work. There was a German immigrant named Hermann Long who worked for Norden, and he gave all the plans for the bomb sight to the Germans in 1938. So they had their own Norden bomb sight the whole time, which, by the way, also didn't work. So why do I tell you that story? Well, you're about to go out into a world that's filled with all kinds of Norden bomb sights, right? We've really gotten really good in your generation at making these kinds of high technology devices, and the people who make them make all kinds of grand and extravagant claims on their behalf, that they will bring the world health and happiness and prosperity. You know, when the revolutions in the Middle East began last fall, people said, this is the result of Facebook and Twitter, right? And along the same lines, there are people who say, if only we can come up with the right kind of software, we can educate every child properly. Or if only we can come up with some magical new engine that doesn't pollute, the world's environmental problems will be solved. But here's the thing that you'll learn as you'll go out into the workforce, and that is that technology alone doesn't solve problems. Social media does not create revolutions. It's a tool, nothing more or less. Real revolutions are born out of righteous anger and courage and vision. Right? The person right now standing up to the government forces in Libya is not being sustained by their tweets or their Facebook postings. By the same token, computers don't educate children. Real education happens because of a personal connection between a teacher and a student. And a fancy new engine won't solve our environmental problems. Our environmental problems are at root caused by our values and our behaviors and our expectations. You know, today we really can put a bomb into a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet. And that's an incredibly impressive accomplishment. But did that mean that the US could rebuild a civil society in Iran? Did that mean that the Allied forces could drive the Taliban out of Afghanistan? Did that allow the CIA to find Osama bin Laden in under 10 years? Right? The issue is not how accurate a bomb is. The issue is what to do with the bombs you have, and more importantly, whether to use bombs at all. Right? Technological problems are not the hardest part of the future, they're the easiest part. The hard part are the human problems that accompany the rise of technology. All of you have received in your time here a wonderful technical preparation for contributing to the world. You have learned skills and techniques and theories and formulas. But now we need something else from you. We need you to use those skills and techniques with wisdom and humility. Good luck to all of you, and congratulations. Thank you.